sometimes people ask when we share with them that today's world can be described as a VUCA world, what does that really mean and what are the implications for education? And I would say that a VUCA world is one that is incredibly different than the world that perhaps people think that I grew up in, which can be described as maybe more stable, although I didn't feel that way when I was a child. But a VUCA world is one that is volatile, unpredictable, complex, and ambiguous. And education in a VUCA world, given that we have kids that are living into the 21st century and maybe into the 22nd century, means that education has to be responsive to that. I see 4 areas of shift that must happen in our schools in order for our kids to be prepared to live and work, be members of families and communities in a VUCA world. One is curriculum. That curriculum in the way that it was defined in the 20th century was a very stable document that changed very little in terms of the content and the skills that were specified. In a VUCA world, curriculum has to be something that is flexible and shifts based upon the needs that we have as technology changes, as the way that the world works changes, politically, socially, economically, and demographically. I also see that there's a real need for change in assessment, that the old days of 4 choices, 1 right answer test don't work in a VUCA world, that we need kids that can respond to problems and challenges that are non-standard in non-standard ways, where there's no one right answer. So I see that as another shift. A third, obviously, is pedagogy. That the old days where a teacher stood at the dominant teaching wall and kids sat in rows and desks and listened and took notes and did what the teacher asked, that compliant world is one that's very different than the VUCA world. Our kids need to be able to work in ways that are non-compliant. They need to generate lots of different ideas. They need to be able to really value diversity in their communities, in their work world, in their own lives. They need to be able to really be flexible thinkers and doers. And then lastly, I think that another shift in the VUCA world of education is a shift in the way that we think about resourcing our kids in terms of technologies. And that includes everything from the structures of schedule, time, technology, applications, the ways that we use all of the resources both inside and outside of schools, so that kids are existing in a world where learning is seamless, that it can occur in any place where a child happens to be. So when you put that all together in a VUCA world, what you have is education that responds in a way that's agile, it's adaptive, it's flexible, and it's constantly evolving as the needs of young people change in a world that is volatile, unpredictable, complex, and ambiguous. Thank you.